This episode is brought to you by Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Some things are just better together, like party playlists and Friday nights, campfires and ghost stories, peanut butter and chocolate. And Reese's Cups are the perfect combination of creamy peanut butter and delicious milk chocolate. So, when you want something sweet, you can't do better than Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Buy Reese's today wherever candy is sold.
Alright, what's up guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, some of you guys, like if you follow me on YouTube, you probably know that I'm a fan of Deji. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, if y'all know Deji, you guys know his girlfriend. If you know his girlfriend, you might follow her on Instagram. And if you follow her on Instagram, you might have seen where she had made a post. I'm not overall trying to say something going on between the two. I think she was just asking it just to ask it. But anyways, so she had made a post saying, "Would you forgive your partner for cheating?" And I'm like, bro, that's a good podcast episode because that's something that I would like to talk on, because it's something that I'm like, I feel like with either situation, like whether it's like if it's one of those things where it's like there ain't really no history between y'all, like let's say for an example you guys met like on a dating app, right? You guys meet on a dating app, so there ain't like your history is building up. But I feel like if it's a situation where we've known each other for a long time, like prior before us dating, I feel like that would be a little bit more difficult rather than, like the relationship just started and she goes out and cheats. So if it's a situation like that, I'm like, why would you get into a relationship with me if you know you're going to be out here sleeping around? I'm like, I can't be in no relationship like that. I feel like it would be less painful than it's somebody that you know, somebody that you got like history with. So I feel like with either situation, I won't forgive that person. But it's one of those things where I'm like, I'm not going to hold a grudge. Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, I can't talk to this person anymore. I just won't be in a relationship with them. And I think that's how something like that should work. Don't overall be angry. I mean, well, of course, be angry, man. I'm like not telling y'all at the moment don't be angry, but don't be like, I don't even know, like years down the road, like you still like, oh, I can't talk with you, like because my thing is like, look, other than that, like I know if that particular person that like cheated on me, if she were to if something were to go down in her life and she felt like I was the only person that she can talk to, then I'd be like, yeah, I'll talk to her, hear her out and things. But it's like that's one thing where I'm like, just know like a relationship can't happen between it. That's something I'm like, I don't know. I've never been cheated on, and I hope and pray to God that I never do get cheated on. But it's one of those things where I'm like, I would have to like know or experience it, which I hope I never do. But it's just one of those things where I'm like, I would have to see like what will overall happen in the future, because I don't know, things may change. I know that there's been times where I say I wouldn't do or get into certain things, and then it's changed. Like I feel like comparing sneakers to cheating is like it's a bad comparison, but I'm just saying like at one point I didn't like sneakers, so then out of nowhere I'm like, bro, I'm out here waiting for like a raffle thing to go down on Monday to see if I win, because I'm like, bruh, there's some Jordans that I really want. So but yeah, I'm like, it's one of those things where it's like, I really can't see into the future, so I don't know. But I'm like, at the moment, I'm like, yeah, I think it's best if you just keep your distance and don't talk to me. Because I'm like, it's one of those things where I'm like, why can't you just break up with the person and tell them that I'm like no longer interested in you? Like, as hurtful as it sounds, I think I would rather for that to happen than for somebody to confront me with the video, photos, or messages or whatever, showing that this girl that I'm talking to or dating or in a relationship with or married to, whatever, she's cheating on me. So I'm like, yeah, I'm like that type of stuff. I'm like, especially, I feel like when y'all are in the talking stage, like, I feel like because y'all are dating, so it should be a situation where it's all like, I think it should be established well before yo, like, is this like we're exclusively dating, or is it just one of those things like we're just seeing our options, we just trying out, all the food at the buffet table? Because if not, if it's one of those things, it's like you trying out the food at the buffet table. I feel like something like that needs to be established. Cause I'm like, yeah, if I'm dating a girl and then she's just like, oh, I thought we were just like, dating around. I didn't think we were like exclusive. Like, yeah, it has to be. I feel like that it has to be a situation where it's the talking stage and then it's like exclusively dating. Then once when it's exclusively dating, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like, then it's an exclusive thing. But then when it's like relationship, marriage, and all that stuff, like, yeah, you should definitely, at that point in time, you definitely shouldn't be talking to nobody else. That's why I'm like, yeah, when I'm exclusively, like, the next girl I exclusively date, I'm like, yo, like, if she needs it, because that's the thing, I'm like, I know people have experienced like cheating partners, so she doesn't trust me. I'm like, I just will have to, and I'm like, that's the thing, I feel like a lot of people, they just, don't feel the need to do that. Like, it's like, oh, you should just trust that person from the jump. And I'm like, nah, there's people out there that's experienced that stuff, like cheating, and it's hit them down to their core, especially if it's a person, like I said, like, they've established something with them just for them to find out that they're cheating. So I'm like, yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like, people are gonna be thinking like, oh, you just giving in, you just being weak and all that stuff. Like, a girl asks you to check through your phone and you just giving it up like that. It's like, yeah, you weak, man. You did. No, it's like there ain't no like ill feelings with that, because I'm like, yo, my thing is like, if I want to build a trust with this woman, I'm like, okay, then I'm gonna have to show her my phone messages, freaking whatever, MySpace. This girl wanted, like, I'm saying, like, but that stuff where I'm like, if I see like a future with this girl, then I'm like, oh, okay, cool then. But I'm like, it's one of those things where I'm like, I couldn't, make it seem to give her the illusion like I'm hiding something, be like, oh, I'm not cheating, just gonna have to take my word for it. I'm like, no, I'm gonna prove my innocence. I'm that type of person. I'm gonna prove my innocence type person. I'm like, yo, it's like, you want to see something, okay, you can look. I'm like, you want to look through my phone, you want to know how to recover deleted messages, you can very well do that. But I'm saying, like, my thing is like, I have nothing to hide. I was talking about that on my live stream last night, that I come from a very like open family, so we don't have nothing to hide, we don't have nothing to keep like underneath or 6 feet under and stuff. I'm like, no, it's like, as long as I'm above ground, everything else that needs to be, that I need to say, or that's on my mind, or what's going on in my life, like, it's gonna be above ground too. So that's how I see it. But yeah, I'm like, it's one of those things where it's like, you just like, that trust thing just has to be established. So I'm like, and then I know people be like, oh, well, what if you do establish that trust and she but it's like, it's still, but you, like, the person still goes out and cheat? I'm like, that's on you. I'm like, that's on you. If you establish the trust with the person just so you can go out and cheat, I'm like, no. I'm like, that's something that I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't go through all that trouble and hard work to establish a trust with some girl just so I could go out and cheat on it. That's what I'm all like, yeah, I said numerous times. Or if I didn't say it numerous times, I'm saying it now. Yeah, I'm calling that stuff out. I'm like, yo, if I'm ever out in public and a girl approaches me, whether my girlfriend's there or not, my girlfriend's there, then whoever that girl is, I'm like, you bold and you gonna mess around and catch a some of the girl I'm talking to or dating at the time. I'm like, yeah, she gonna mess around and catch a case, but I'm just gonna be looking like, who are you? Like, what's your problem? Because I'm like, I don't understand the situation right now. But no, it's like, girl approaches me, whether girlfriend's there or not, and she's all like, oh, like, forget your girlfriend, be with me, or, let's just, fool around a little bit. I'm like, no. I've like, that's one thing I'm all like, just to like overall mess with people. I'm like, I know it'd be like probably embarrassing, or, overall people would be looking at me like I'm weird, but I would legit blow a whistle in the girl's face for some stuff like that. I know it's as crazy as it sounds. I'm like, but that's just to let her know, like, hey, like, you want to act crazy, I can act crazy too. Because I'm like, my thing is like, a person needs to understand, like, how valuable a relationship can be. Because it's like, my thing is like, you don't really know what that relationship can bring to you. Like, if you're that person where you want to go around and date and sleep around and do all that stuff, that type of stuff needs to be established like from the jump. It shouldn't be something that's like established like years down the road, months down the road, whenever, like, you know, like that. To me, I'm like, that type of stuff is kind of messed up. So that's why I'm like, yeah, you need to like, it's situations I've heard where it's like, you know, people have been caught up in like cheating situations. I mean, look at the TV show Cheaters. But yeah, it's like, I'm like, jokes aside, I'm like, nah, I'm like, I ain't gonna be talking to no girls, I ain't gonna be messaging no girls. I'm like, only girl I'm gonna be messaging is the girl that's that has my name underneath her relationship status thing on Facebook. And I'm like, so other than, but even if we don't change that, but we still in a relationship still, I'm like, you know, it's only me and her. That's how I see it. So yeah, I overall think that stuff is stupid, because I'm like, I just don't understand why you get into a relationship just to sleep around with other people. And I'm like, I don't know if you got like an issue or a problem, but I'm like, yeah. And I know there's going to probably be people that's out here trying to like defend the situation just all like, well, I just fallen out of love with the person. I'm like, okay, well then break up with the person. Don't lead them on, or don't put them in a situation where they're mad at you. And then it's like, because my thing is like, the one story where well, it was like more to it, but I thought it was just a cheating thing. But regardless, it's like, you know, I've heard situations where the significant other that got cheated on that caused bodily harm or then killed somebody. And I'm like, what was there's that one MMA fighter, and he had that porn star girlfriend. And I'm all like, my thing is, it's like, bruh, like, really, like, what did you expect? The girl's a porn star. Like, if she's like an accounting or like a waitress at some like restaurant or something, then I feel like, oh, okay, like you should be upset the fact that she cheated. But I'm like, she a porn star. I'm like, well, what did you expect? Bro, she cheats on you like every week. Like, I'm saying, like, what did you, like, I didn't understand that situation, because I'm like, bruh, like, you should have known that was gonna happen. I don't know what was the situation. I don't know. But anyways, the MMA fighter like walked in on his girlfriend cheating on him, or whatever the situation is. It still doesn't give him a reason to do what he did. But I'm just saying, like, there are crazy people out there that's like that. Me, I'm not one of those crazy people. I know it's like, if I were to ever get cheated on by some girl, I'm just like, all right, well, I'm just leaving. I'm like, I ain't gonna tell her where I'm going. I ain't gonna tell her like what's going on. I'm like, all right, well, I just got to start all over. I'm like, you know, yeah, I'm going to probably get mad, shed some tears, all this other extra stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm all like, you know, that's probably a sign that, you know, this was going to be like that one particular moment of catching her cheating. That's going to be the rest of the relationship. So I'm like, I know people are like, well, it's, you know, they're like, well, a person can slip up once or twice. I'm like, no, a person shouldn't slip up once, twice, half a time, or 3/4 of a time. Like, no, you shouldn't be slipping up. I'm like, my thing is like, I got zero tolerance for cheating. I'm like, the relationship is like dead. It is done and over with. I'm like, because I know I'm not gonna do it. So what? Like, why does it give you like, oh, it's so he ain't gonna do it, so I do it? Like, no, it doesn't work like that. There shouldn't be no cheating whatsoever. Period. Period. Like, I'm like, no, it's like a person slip up once or twice, that's gonna ruin the relationship just one time. It just only, for me, it only takes one time to ruin the relationship. I know there's people out there that are like, oh, I'll forgive them, I'll give them a chance. Because even on that poll thing that Deji's girlfriend started, there were some people that said yes. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm all like, you know, kudos to you guys. But me, on the other hand, I'm like, nah, I couldn't forgive that person. I couldn't be with that person no more. So there's times I hear situations where it's like from famous celebrities to, you know, people that I grew up with, and they've given them chances, or they've just moved on. And I'm like, yeah, it's one of my friends. It was like, she had told me that her boyfriend broke up with her to talk to another girl, and then when it didn't work out with her, he tried to go back. I'm like, that's my thing is like, that's still cheating. That is still cheating. I'm like, you at some point was starting to get attracted to this person, and then you think, no, I'm like, I definitely ain't gonna tolerate that. I'm like, to me, I'm like, I still see that as cheating, because I'm like, you was interested with this person while dating me. You think by just break, I'm like, no, and it's like, okay, like if it doesn't work out, then I'm like, you should not try to like go back to your ex that you just broke up with to go with this other person. I'm like, no, you had something good, you messed it up, now you got to move on. So I'm like, I just feel like that it's like, at that time, it's like, you know, if y'all break up for any other reason besides cheating, like, it's like, oh, because I know I hear situations where people break up because they've grown apart, or they, just got different schedules, or, there's something's going on to where overall, like, but it's not like a cheating thing, like y'all ended the stuff on good terms. I feel like that's a relationship that you could potentially go back to. But a relationship where it ended on bad terms or cheating and all that stuff, like that's toxic. Like, I know people are all like, toxic is just an overused word for like relationships, but in reality, like, nah, like, it's not good for you. It's not good for your mental health. It's not good for your physical health. It's not good for anything. So I'm like, yeah, it's just to, go back to somewhere. It's like to me, I'm like, to go back to a person they cheated, and I'm like, yeah, I know that, like, there's been times where I've heard situations like that where it's like the person said they never gonna cheat again, but I'm like, that trust, it's like when the relationship started, the trust is at zero. I'm all like, now that like, you, like, if we've gotten back together, you cheated on me, the trust is like at negative something. It's like negative 1,000, like negative, like, it's gonna be a significant number in the negatives. But I'm like, you gonna have to get out the negatives. It's on some like Jeopardy type stuff. You're gonna have to get out the negatives. You're gonna have to get like at that zero part and then build that trust up all over again. I'm like, and that's the thing. It's like, look, there ain't no material things. It's like, it's all about it's a mental game, but it's like, it's a mental game that you got to play by the rules. You got, like, you can't cheat your way to the top. You can't do, like, no, you have to, like, mentally, and I know people be like, that's doing too much. I'm like, okay, well, then there shouldn't be no reason why you should be getting into a relationship. I'm like, if you truly do care for that person, it's like, yeah, love them, care for them, do what you can. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's yeah, if you cheat and if you're not willing to, like, if you ain't trying to fix things back up with that other person, I'm like, yeah, then it's like, relationships ain't for you. And you just gonna have to find another person that go around cheating. They need to just make an app for like people that cheat. So I'm all like, okay, well, you know what you got yourself into when you when you signed up for that app, bro. That's actually a good idea. I'm about to post out my brainstorming channel, app for cheaters. So I'm like, they probably do got an app out there like that. But yeah, I'm like, they should definitely do something like that. So then I'm like, oh, well, you know what you got yourself into when you create an account on this app. So yeah, I'm like, yeah, you can't be mad at them. I'm like, you went on cheater, no, like, I was like trying to like what can I call the app, like, cheater or something? I don't know, because I'm like trying to like blend it in with Tinder and cheating, but I don't even know, like, Tinder, the cheating edition, or cheating Tinder, or I don't know. I'm gonna think of a name, but anyways, yeah, I'm like, overall, I'm like, yo, I'm like, you need to be on that app. But any other app, I'm like, that's for people that don't want to cheat and stuff. So anyways, but yeah, overall, hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe if you're viewing this on YouTube. Follow, subscribe if you're viewing this on the podcast streaming service. Check out my live stream on Twitch. Just search up TMossBoss and you'll find me. What other things can I promote? Subscribe to the podcast channel on YouTube. Subscribe to all my other channels. They're all linked to my main channel, TMossBoss. Subscribe to that. Yeah, in the meantime, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening, and peace.